In the mist-veiled mountains of northern Iran, atop the jagged cliffs of the Elburz Range, once stood a fortress so formidable and mysterious that even the mightiest empires trembled at its name: Alamut. But the stone and mortar of Alamut were not its most dangerous features. Its true power lay in the hands of a man, Hasan Sabbah. Feared as a mastermind, mythologized as a sorcerer, and revered by his followers as a prophet, Hasan Sabbah built not only a secret society, but a psychological weapon that could infiltrate thrones and reshape destinies. This is the story of a revolutionary leader, the feared assassins, Hashashin, and their secretive mountain stronghold. Born around 1050 CE in the city of Qom or Ray, sources vary, Hasan Sabbah was the product of a deeply religious Shia family, raised amid the tensions of a fractured Islamic world. Unlike most children of his time, Sabbah displayed an insatiable hunger for knowledge and a relentless spirit of inquiry. He studied theology, philosophy, mathematics, and esoteric sciences, always asking not just what, but why. His early academic brilliance brought him into contact with two historical figures: Omar Khayyam, the famed Persian poet and astronomer, and Nizam al-Mulk, vizier of the Seljuk Empire. Though they shared youthful camaraderie, their paths diverged dramatically: Khayyam to the stars, Nizam to the court, and Sabbah into the shadows of rebellion. It was during his theological explorations that Sabbah encountered the Batini school of Islam, particularly the Ismaili branch, a secretive sect that believed every verse of the Quran held hidden meanings, decipherable only through spiritual initiation. This philosophy captivated Sabbah, offering him the depth and symbolism he craved. Eventually, he traveled to Cairo, seat of the Fatimid Caliphate and a center of Ismaili thought. There, he absorbed not just ideology, but tactical wisdom, espionage, patience, persuasion, and the art of infiltration. By the time he returned to Persia, he was more than a scholar. He was a strategist with a plan. Hasan Sabbah knew that ideas spread best when planted in fertile ground. So instead of raising armies, he focused on capturing minds. His eye fell on Alamut, a fortress perched nearly 2,100 meters above sea level in the Elburz Mountains. With its natural defenses and panoramic surveillance advantages, Alamut was the perfect headquarters. Instead of conquering it by force, Sabbah employed subterfuge. Disguised as a local religious man, he infiltrated the fortress slowly, converting key members of the garrison to his ideology. By the time the original commander realized what was happening, it was too late. Sabbah took control without bloodshed, an intellectual conquest more potent than any siege. Armed with absolute belief and surgical precision, Sabbah's Fedayeen began targeting political figures. Their first known target, Nizam al-Mulk. Disguised as a humble petitioner, a Fedai approached the vizier and drove a dagger into his chest. It wasn't just a killing, it was a message. From that point on, no sultan, general, or minister in the Islamic world felt safe. The Hashashin didn't wage wars, they instilled dread. They infiltrated cities, courts, and even enemy camps, often leaving symbolic daggers by their target's pillow as a warning. We can reach you. Over time, tales of Sabbah's powers transcended politics. It was said he communed with jinn, supernatural beings in Islamic belief, received metaphysical intelligence, and foresaw political events through mystical means. While many of these stories likely stem from fear and myth, his vast knowledge of astronomy, human behavior, and secret societies added to his near supernatural reputation. Within Alamut, Sabbah reportedly maintained an immense library, housing rare texts on medicine, mathematics, alchemy, and forbidden knowledge. His leadership wasn't based on brute strength, but on intellectual dominance and psychological manipulation. No fortress is eternal. In 1256, nearly a century after Sabbah's death in 1124, the Mongol general Hulagu Khan, grandson of Genghis Khan, led a massive campaign to crush the assassins. Despite its defenses, Alamut could not withstand Mongol siege technology and overwhelming numbers. Some sources claim the Mongols tunneled beneath the mountain and filled the hollows with explosives, turning the cliffside into a giant bomb. Whether by cannon, sabotage, or sheer force, Alamut fell. Its libraries burned, its tunnels collapsed. Its legacy, however, did not die. Though Hasan Sabbah perished centuries ago, the echoes of his methods still linger. The word assassin, derived from Hashashin, entered Western languages through crusaders who encountered the sect. His tactics of fear, infiltration, and mind control have inspired countless books, games, and conspiracy theories. But perhaps more intriguingly, his story blurs the line between spiritual pursuit and radicalization, between enlightenment and fanaticism. Was he a freedom fighter or a fanatic, a visionary or a tyrant? The answer may depend on which side of the blade you stand. Hasan Sabbah's life is not just a tale of medieval espionage or mystical sects. It's a lesson in how belief can be weaponized, how perception can become reality, and how the battle for control often takes place not on battlefields, but in the minds of men. In the end, Alamut wasn't just a fortress of stone, it was a fortress of thought. And thought, once seated deeply enough, can be harder to destroy than any castle wall.